A third concept to consider is that of paneling. Paneling includes the number, size, and arrangement of panels that an artist decides to put on a particular page. So if you think about it, the page itself is one big panel that's divided into any number of smaller panels. In this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that is a pretty standard page. And the way you would read the panels are in order from left to right, just like you read words. So panel 1, panel 2, panel 3, panel 4, panel 5, panel 6. Now it is interesting to note that in Japanese culture, if you're reading manga, you actually read it backwards from right to left. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you ever pick up a manga book and you are having a hard time understanding it, that's why. Um, but you don't always have to use just 6 panels, even though that's kind of the normal approach. You can, in this case, use 5. And then notice I've made a long shot out of that middle one. Or I could do 3 and have a really big one here. I could do one single panel, which is called a splash page. Or I could do any number of panels. Again, how would I read this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So let's look at some real examples. Again, this is an example of what's called a splash page from a book called The Arrival, which is about immigration. And so you get, in a splash page, you get a full, huge picture that really immerses you, that splashes the world on you. So you use this a lot when you're introducing a new scene or a new setting to really immerse the reader in that world. You can also use a long shot, right? A long shot also is often used as an establishing shot. But by being sort of rectangular in nature, it makes you naturally kind of read from left to right, and it gives it a sense of motion. Also, often you use close-ups. Now, close-ups obviously do 2 things. One, they draw our attention to specific details. So I'm going to go back for a second. In a picture like this, my eye can wander all over the place. I might look at a couple particular details, but I might look at something that just fascinates me. And in a close-up, it's pretty clear that what I see is exactly what the author wants me to see, and that's about it. And what else is interesting when you use a series of close-ups like this is you get a sense of time and motion. Look, bam, 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 bam. It's almost like watching an animated movie in segments. And so you can really feel subconsciously that movement and that motion by the number of panels on the page. It's something you didn't necessarily feel when you see one big panel altogether. So you can also mix and match. Notice on this one we've got the long shot of the big full line, which kind of shows us what's going on, but then the author zooms in on particular details that they want us to focus on. So I'm just going to breeze through some others. There's also what's called an open panel approach, where you don't draw the lines in, you still have multiple pictures, and so it makes it feel like a dream, or in this case it's a flashback of the guy who wrote Alice in Wonderland, Lewis Carroll. It's a biography of his life. Maus is a Holocaust narrative, and again, a very traditional paneling structure. Watchmen, same structure, but notice how they've adjusted the lines a little bit to kind of give you the back and forth between the 2 scenes. In this particular scene in Kid Dixon, our protagonist is starting to feel kind of crazy, and so they show us that by drawing the lines in strange abstract angles. Here's a splash page. Here is a whole sequence of mini panels, and why do you think they do this? It's to make you feel the music, right? And the different lengths, or like different note lengths, if you've ever played jazz music before. You notice the use of the long rectangle angles here. It really accentuates the body of the snake and makes you feel it coming to life. In The Death of Captain America, you've got a big splash page where it shoots him in the chest, and then you've got close-ups for the emotional moments of him saying his last words. We've got kind of a fairy tale in the middle here, and we've got a framing around it as we tell the story. You can feel the Twin Tower fall. Notice how these panels look like the falling tower as they give us close-ups of what's happening on the ground. Or notice how you can have the falling bomb on a crowded scene of people not suspecting it in the Middle East. Or notice in this very graphic novel called We Three, in violent scenes, you get all these itty bitty close-ups showing all the very disgusting things that war does to people.